Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend, Matt.
Chris, I think I have a bad memory.
Okay, why is that?
Let me check one thing real quick.
Okay. As the podcast hangs in the balance.
Yeah, no, so I was gonna do a bit, because for some reason I thought the Seahawks had a Sunday night game and then a Monday night game, but they didn't. That just wasn't that was a thing I made up in my head, and I was gonna make that my intro, but now I'm looking at the schedule, and that just didn't happen.
Well, it's gonna happen. It's Sunday.
Yeah?
It's the Sunday night game this past
Sunday night.
week.
Okay. So what happened was I got it mixed up because I thought it went Seattle then Buffalo, but it went Buffalo and Seattle. So here's my intro. Okay.
Okay. Hit me with it.
I fucked this up so.
No. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. You got this.
If I had a nickel for every time an NFL team this season had a Sunday night game followed by a Monday night game, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It is very strange. Listen,
and then I thought the Seahawks went first, but no, the Bills went first, and now the Seahawks.
Now what I'm curious about is this week's Sunday night game is Colts 49ers. What's next?
They don't. I checked already.
You did check.
It's not them. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God, Giants Chiefs for Monday night. Why? Why? All right. We'll worry about that next week. But so we are recording late at night. I mean, this is kind of our usual recording time, but we don't start this late usually.
Yeah.
Matt, you are currently in the midst of organizing an online reality show.
Listen, it's a lot of work. I've been sitting at this desk.
I wasn't gonna try to legitimize
I know.
it.
I'm talking about you out there, Daryl.
Oh, you fucking Daryl.
If you're listening, Daryl.
Yeah.
Just freaked out anyone named Daryl out there. No, but it's like I've literally been in this chair for like 4 hours.
Yeah. So
I'm
it's
just tired.
Just a lot of looking through applications.
We'll be fine.
Like
It'll all be great.
Yeah, I have faith in you. Yeah. But we're gonna try to get through this episode. All right. We got a nice. It's, I wouldn't say it's a steak, but it's like maybe it's like a. I don't know. You watch MasterChef, Matt. Like,
Yeah.
is what's like a smaller meat, like a filet mignon, like.
Well, yeah, that's like a really nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Filet's really nice. We could do like a skirt steak. That's a little less.
Yeah, it's a smaller steak, but it's still juicy and meaty and delicious.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what this podcast this week is going to be like. We are going to be drafting our dream team. Each of us will will go back and forth drafting what we would think what would be our ideal team to have. Based off of the results of this last, first, 6 weeks, and maybe not just based on these results, maybe just based on the results of previous years. We'll each have our strategies to it.
Yeah, just in general, how do we feel about how these teams work?
Where are we sitting on it? Yeah. And of course we'll do our week 7 picks, but before that, let's do a week 6 recap. Now I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna be honest. Put the pull back the curtain and let y'all know. I didn't watch any football this week. Just gonna be real honest here. I'm going off of things that clips that I've seen of the football games, and I'm also going off of the commentary that I've heard from online and everything. So just know that we're unreliable, or at least I am an unreliable narrator this week.
I'm not that reliable either, so we'll get through this very quickly.
Yeah, so the game of the week, based off of the results that I've seen and what people were talking about, Patriots at Cowboys is your game of the week.
Except it was Cowboys and Patriots.
Excuse me. Yeah, right, see, right out of the gate. We're screwing up the details here. So my takeaway from what I've seen is that this was a back and forth game for the most part. It seems as if this was a game where both that the Cowboys offense had a slow start. The Patriots defense did a good job. But then the Cowboys basically got sparked in the start of the second half with Trayvon Diggs having the interception that was turned into a pick six. And then essentially the game went to overtime after Mike McCarthy inexplicably kick the ball on 4th and 1 instead of just letting his offense actually cook and maybe score a touchdown, so that way they didn't have to go to overtime.
Weird.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy not running doing clock stuff good?
But yeah, so the Patriots overall had a decent game. Mac Jones played well. Defense was playing a little bit better was playing well in the first half, and then just it all fell apart for them in the second half because the Cowboys ultimately came out victorious.
Yeah.
So very nice job, Cowboys. You're 5-1, looking good, looking like one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFC. Blowout of the week, and this was a shocking one. Chargers at Ravens. There was
that really the biggest discrepancy?
So it was tied with the Texans at Colts, but I figured that Texans and Colts was a bit of a boring choice to insert here.
Yeah.
So the biggest discrepancy, 34-6.
Okay.
It was Baltimore Ravens winning over the Chargers, and the takeaway that I understood from this one was that the Ravens defense actually became a big thing in this game, was absolutely dominating.
This almost felt inexplicable.
Mm-hmm.
Just with how good the Chargers offense has been, and even the Ravens defense not being as good as we thought it was. This just wasn't what anyone thought was going to happen.
Yeah, 187 yards on the ground for Baltimore, and wasn't a great passing performance for Lamar Jackson overall, but ultimately, it led to there's 3 rushing touchdowns, and that ended up pushing them over the line here. Yeah, Justin Herbert had a rough day, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only 195 yards in the air, but. I mean, obviously it was tough to pay attention this weekend on it, but would you be worried about the Chargers at this point?
Nah, this feels like it. I think that both these statements can be true. I think that this could be a down game for the Chargers, and it could also be a statement game for Baltimore.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, now Baltimore has the best record in the AFC standing alone. We'll get to that, why that is the case in a second. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think it's just like, all right, with how well the Chargers have played to this point, it's like, all right, you get a game that maybe you didn't perform as well, but now, hopefully that doesn't become a trend. Like, you just have that be an anomaly. Let's move on, and hopefully things will be better. But good on Baltimore, man.
Yep.
5-1, they've won 5 straight. Just really, really impressive. Nice bounce back from what was a very questionable, or at least initially felt like a questionable loss, and then the Raiders kind of ended up being a decent team. So that there's that on that front. And then the chaos of the week. This was a game I did get to watch a bit of. The Bills at the Titans, and what a fucking game for Derrick Henry. Just absolutely ran up the fucking 143 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns overall, including a 76-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely destroyed the Bills on the ground. Ryan Tannehill did not have a good passing performance.
He didn't need one.
It was all Derrick Henry completely carried this team. It was a back and forth game generally. Like the Titans defense didn't play all that great throughout. The Bills, I mean, Josh Allen, 353 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. Like, he had a good game. But the big problems for them was just not they got stopped when McDermott went for 4th and 1. And by the way, everyone's like, did Sean McDermott make the right decision? He did. He fucking did.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did. Like, let's just move on. Like, let's stop.
What happens if you lose the coin toss? You go to overtime and you lose the coin toss, and Derrick Henry just runs over you again.
Right, exactly. Like, it is it's so weird seeing that ended up being a talking point. Of course it was the fucking right decision. It just didn't work out. It was just not well executed. And so Bills have had a problem converting in red zone this season. That was maybe their biggest issue, and maybe that's the only thing that you can kind of come away with on this front. But kind of a similar situation to what happened with the Chargers, albeit not as bad, where it's like, this is one game. Any other day you'd win this game. Like, you're in good shape. But good on the Tennessee Titans, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really. I think that Tennessee has some more juice behind them than we initially may have thought.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Was there anything? I do have one thing in mind, but I want to kind of give you the floor. Is there anything that you want to highlight from this week that kind of stuck out to you that you watched?
Not really. I think that just in general, there's just a lot of overtime games this year.
Yeah. There was 2 this week, 3 this week. How many were this week? I know it was the Sunday night game, and I know it was Dallas and the Patriots. Was there any others?
Carolina, Minnesota also.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. And then that was Minnesota's had so many wild games this year. My goodness.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to bring up to you, and I wanted to ask your opinion of, the Packers ended up winning against the Bears, but then at some point, and I don't know when this happened, I only heard about it after the fact, there is an audio clip of Aaron Rodgers screaming at the Bears fans saying that he owns them.
I own you. So I think from what I saw after that was apparently a Bears fan was like giving him the double bird after he scored that touchdown. So just being salty.
I see.
One specific Bears fan, I get it. I was like, it was more just like that picture. Is it fucking Paul Rudd or Ben Affleck, one of the two, who's just on the balcony smoking?
I
just that one meme.
I probably know it when I see it.
Yeah. Just like I'm just so tired of this fucker.
And Tom Brady, because he has to be the center of attention with his Twitter account being like, oh, he looks like Aaron Rodgers has a part owner, part stake now in the Bears, like I do with the Jets, and like the media eats it up and wants to share it on all social media platforms because everyone thinks Tom Brady is the greatest comedian to ever live. You got the salty Chris today with a 9:16 at night for me.
I'm a tired Matt today, so it's fine.
Anyways, so that's it. That's your week 6 recap. If you want more deeper recap, you watch those other shows. All right, we're not here to please y'all. All right, we're here to just do a show. And we're gonna get out of here. All right, have some fun, and then we leave. All right, it's all good. Let's draft our teams. Let's draft our dream teams real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So
are we gonna snake?
We could snake it. For some reason I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, we could snake it if you want.
Sure.
Because that's what we're used to doing in terms of snaking. So the dream team is going to work like this. We're drafting one person from each position, with the exception of some grouping. So we're drafting one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end, and then we're going to draft an offensive line unit for a team and a defensive unit for our team. And that will make up what our dream teams are. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Is there anything that you'd want to add to this? Or you feel good with this group?
I mean, unless you want to do kickers.
That's true. I didn't think about it. All right, we'll save kicker to the end. Okay. We'll have a part of the draft, but we'll be like, all right, who do we want our kickers to be? All right. Matt, the way I'm doing this is that you are currently the leader in our picks competition, so because of that, you have first dibs of who you want. Anyone.
All right. I feel like I can get a lot of stuff in a lot of other places. But I think that the one thing that isn't going to be replaceable is just how well someone can run the ball. I'm going to pick Derrick Henry.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Um, I I was thinking Derrick Henry would be my second. Would be my first choice if you want quarterback.
Yeah.
But since now I have the pick of whatever quarterback I want. So here's the thing. I want to pick Mahomes, right? Because Mahomes is like, all right, this is the easy choice. He's the greatest quarterback in the league, right? In the league, has been the greatest quarterback in the league, over the course of the last few seasons. I'm gonna go Dak Prescott. I love it. I really, really liked the way that he has been playing, and I just feel like whenever he's in a game, like if you want to rely on someone to carry you to victory, it's gonna be Dak, and he's gonna fight to the end. And I think that Mahomes is maybe the better quarterback of the two right now, but I'm kind of trying to stay within like the current things and like who's really playing out of their minds right now, and I'm gonna go Dak as my quarterback.
I like the choice.
Yeah, in terms of the next person who I would pick, I'm gonna let running back slide for a bit.
Yeah, because you can literally.
Yeah, now I feel like Henry was my like number one, and then I was like, all right, now we can kind of let this be whoever. I'm gonna say for my wide receiver pick, I'm gonna wide receiver here. I'm just gonna go the guy who has been the best wide receiver in the league for what feels like quite a few seasons now. It's Devonte Adams. He's been fantastic. Yeah. He continues to be fantastic. Super reliable. Currently leading the league. In receiving, and I'm gonna go with him.
Okay. I'll take my tight end then. I mean, I'll just take Travis Kelce, make it very easy.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just Travis Kelce's great. He works great as a receiver as well. For quarterback, I'll go with Josh Allen. I think a good combination of like just Josh Allen as a passer plus his rushing ability. We'll just complement things super well.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. From there, I will say, like, in terms of when we were talking about defenses, how well defenses have played this year, there's a mixed bag overall. Like I feel like every defense in some way has been exposed here and there. It's between the Bills and Cardinals for me. And I know they got destroyed by Henry, and you have Henry on your team. And in this hypothetical situation, the Bills would have to face him. I gotta give credit where credit's due. The Cardinals with Steve Wilkes right now is the defensive coordinator. Or wait, no, is it Steve? Is it Steve? Who's that? Maybe Vance Joseph. Hold on.
Vance Joseph. That's it. Steve Wilkes was their old head coach.
That was their old head coach. Yeah. Vance Joseph. The Cardinals defense just deserves so much credit because yes, their offense is what's really been like the shining star of everything, but I just feel like the Cardinals have been just able to really shut down teams. I mean, look at the way that the Cardinals were able to shut down the Titans offense in week 1, that they were able to stop the Rams as hardcore as they were, earlier in the year. Like I just really like what the Cardinals defense has been doing, so I'm gonna roll with that. And then my next pick, well, I want to protect the quarterback. I want to protect Dak Prescott, so I could just go with the Cowboys offensive line because they performed well this year.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at sack totals for quarterbacks this year. The quarterback the starting quarterback who has played a bunch of games that has been sacked the least is surprisingly Heineke. But
there we go.
but just because I feel like the Washington football team just has some bad juju over it right now, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay.
Rams,
all right, cool.
The Rams offensive line. They only given up 6 sacks this year, to Matthew Stafford, and I think that overall, I think the Rams, that which used to be Rams. I remember there was the year after the Super Bowl where their offensive line was just not great, and they caused Jared Goff to regress the way he did. And then, but since then this unit
pretty
has
solid now.
It's gotten a lot better. So I'm gonna go Rams O line for my next pick.
I'm gonna take the Browns O line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because really good at running.
Yes.
with 2 great running backs on that team, of course. But I think just with Derrick Henry and the Browns O line, holy fuck.
Yeah. 100%.
Would be great.
Yeah.
For wide receiver, I want to go just someone super reliable who can get catches and just take DeAndre Hopkins.
There you go.
Because just I think he would succeed in any team that he's on. Legitimately, any team he's on, Hopkins is going to succeed.
Yeah, and he's generally been very quiet this year, but I just feel like they're just waiting for him to just break out. You know, I'm ready. I'm just ready to see him. He's gonna he's the Cardinals offense hasn't even needed him yet, and then he's just gonna come out and he's just gonna fucking dominate everything, and it's gonna be exciting. Yeah. All right. I only have tight end and running back left. I'm gonna go for tight end. I really like Darren Waller. I love his story, and I love how he looked dominant in week 1, when everyone thought he was gonna just break the records for yardage or whatever it was. Has quieted down a little bit, but he's still one of the more productive tight ends. And I know that you have Mark Andrews who's performing very well. I know George Kittle, obviously, a lot of credit to him. But I'm gonna roll with Darren Waller, and then I really like Nick Chubb. I think that Nick Chubb is just a great running back, and Browns have missed him the last game, and will probably miss him on Thursday. So I'll gladly have Chubb on my side here.
Hell yeah. I would have said McCaffrey if he was healthy.
That's true. I didn't even think about McCaffrey, but I guess because I'm just I'm trying to think of now,
just right now.
Yeah. But it's true. McCaffrey would have been fantastic as well.
Yep. Just give me the Bills defense. I already have a Bills, but
yeah,
no other reason.
Well, here, listen. I mean, if the Bills' only weakness is Derrick Henry,
I have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you have him on your team now, so you're good. So yeah, all right. So it's really solid teams overall. Matt, how about you restate your team for people who,
all right,
not paying attention?
Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, the Browns' offensive line, and the Bills' defense.
Yes, and I have Dak Prescott, Nick Chubb, Devonte Adams, Darren Waller, the Rams' offensive line, and the Cardinals' defense. Very nice. That is our dream teams right there. And we are going to see how I guess some of them are on bye, but for the most part, everyone else is playing this week, and we'll see how they perform this week and what we think how they're gonna perform this week. But first, let me tell you about our sponsors. It has been 2 years since we started Team Chaos Productions, and we would not be where we are today without the help of Anchor. You've heard us talk about it all the time, but let me remind you, this completely free platform gives creators the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your computer or phone. Once done, Anchor will distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more so you don't have to. You can also make some money on the episodes with no minimum listenership. It's everything you'd ever want in a podcasting platform, so download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Happy podcasting.
Sick of talking about video games with people who just want to be toxic? Me too. So join us over at the Gaming Coop. We come together each month to talk about what we love about video games. Discussion topics range from our favorite soundtracks to the best relationships between characters. We also have some fun segments in which we play some trivia or build our school of gaming. Find us on Anchor or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Game on!
And we're back. It is time for Week 7 picks. Last week, we tied. We ended up forgetting about the 4 disagreements that we had. It was
right.
We initially said it was 3. It was 4 disagreements that we ended up having. We split on those. But the most important element of the most important game, essentially, that kind of will leave an impact off of this week was that you got your chaos. The Jaguars finally won a football game, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, they play in London. They usually do good.
That's true. I wish I kind of thought about that further, but I was just like, here's the thing. Here's the thing about me. I have a sick. I don't want to say. I mean, I do have a sick sense of humor, but I also have a very sick mind of like, man, I kind of enjoy mid-season firings. And so I think that there was a part of me that was just like, I kind of want to see the Jaguars lose. And let's get him out of here. Yeah, get rid of Urban, Yeah. But good for the Jaguars. Urban Meyer is no longer, at least for the time being, not having his ass on fire. But we'll see when, something else happens, because it's been quite an eventful year for Jaguars. Yeah. But regardless, you got a bonus point for that. So we both walked away with 9-5 records. Pretty good. You walked away with 5 points. I walked away with 4. And so the records as they stand right now. Matt, 61-33. You only have -1 bonus right now. So you have 27 points overall. I have 56. I'm 56-38. I have a -2 bonus, so 16 points overall. So 11-point difference, 5 games behind right now. We'll see how this week and how much we disagree this week as we go into these picks. Matt, get us started.
I don't like this Thursday night football matchup. Because, it would be like, okay, yeah, the Browns, but the Browns are super injured against the Broncos, who, still have a good defense, but their offense doesn't do anything, and the Browns' defense isn't injured. I don't see a lot of points being scored in this game. Who's going to end up the victor?
This is a tough one to pick. I feel like Case Keenum has a history of doing well, but not having either of your starting running backs, not having either of your offensive linemen, not having your number 1 wide receiver, and you're right in that the defense is healthier, but Myles Garrett is dealing with an injury. They just lost their best defensive rookie in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I shouldn't pick the Broncos here. But I just feel like this is a team that's maybe a little bit more together, where the Browns are kind of just picking up the scraps right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Broncos.
All right, I'll defer. I'll go Browns.
Yeah.
I trust Stefanski's coaching a lot still.
Yeah.
That I think with Keenum he can figure something out.
Yeah. It's just a terrible injury luck for the Browns, man.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, but yeah, if they can escape this and go 4-3, that's gonna be huge for when their stars get healthy. But I'll go Broncos. Next up, the Washington Football Team at the Green Bay Packers. Packers, of course, coming off a nice divisional win over the Aaron Rodgers owned Chicago Bears.
God damn it.
And meanwhile, the Washington Football Team, they got the brunt of the Kansas City Chiefs, angstiness after their loss to the Bills. So they lost this past week. They're now 2-4. Is there any hope for Washington here, Matt?
I think there could be hope, but I still feel pretty strongly that the Packers are going to win.
Yeah, I am with you on that. I think the Packers should win. It's at their place. They also have some. I think that their throwback uniforms they're wearing this week are going to look pretty good. I doubt that you'll enjoy them. That yellow green aesthetic is very vibrant.
No.
No.
I'm gonna pick the Packers, but I'm not gonna like watching them.
Yes. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tennessee Titans. Chiefs Not as good as everyone expected at the start of the season. Tennessee, better record and coming off a win against the Bills. Can lightning strike twice?
I've talked about this before in terms of like, it's hard for me to usually like when I'm like look at a game that team with the better record is not favored and they're at home. The 5.5 is the line. Tennessee Titans are the underdog.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go off of history, and history says that the Titans have their way with the Kansas City Chiefs usually. I'm team chaosing the Tennessee Titans here.
This was one that I was considering.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go Chiefs?
I think I'm going to go Chiefs.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Just because, like, Tennessee still needs to score more points than the Chiefs do, and I think the Chiefs will just do it faster than the Titans can.
And also, like, you can't... It's great to have Derrick Henry carry your team, but that's not always going to work out for you,
right?
Too.
Yeah.
I totally think that the Chiefs are better. The Chiefs deserve to be favored in this game. I'm just gonna ignite some chaos into the Tennessee Titans here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins, this is a team that was in London and now is having to play the next week.
Oh, they didn't get a bye? Holy shit!
Yeah, well, we've seen that before. They've
sucks.
Yeah, they've kind of scaled that. They've kind of begun to implement that and see how it ends up working out. But yeah, that's the situation right now after a really tough loss at home or in London. But Tua came back and he looked pretty decent. Maybe the only highlight of their loss. Then you have the Falcons who are coming off a bye. What do you think's gonna happen?
The Falcons looked actually pretty solid, especially offensively, when they were in London a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna roll with the Falcons. I think that they have something kind of going.
Yeah. I want to believe in Tua. I want to see this Miami team can. Here's the thing: I really want Tua to kick the Falcons' ass this week.
Because of the current rumors that are happening.
Yeah, we once again back in the whole Deshaun Watson may go to Miami, situation, and I think just for the sake of all of us and putting some shit to rest, I'm gonna pick the Miami Dolphins in this game.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna win deep down, but I really want Tua to just show up and just show out and prove that he can be, because there's something there. You see something there with him.
Yeah,
it's there. And you want to see it, you want to see it come to the surface and really work out. And obviously, even if he does succeed in this game, it's people are gonna be like, well, it was the Falcons. But I just, with how bad the Miami Dolphins have been this season, this has to be a moment that they kind of turn things around here. So I'm going Miami.
All right. New York Jets take on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Chris, what if I told you that New England hasn't won at home yet this season?
That's stunning. It's big old.
It
stunning.
Really is.
0-4.
New York coming back from London and a bye. How do you think they're going to match up against this Patriots team?
I don't see the Jets winning it. As a 2-4 team that has played relatively good in their losses, I think maybe the only exception, unless I'm forgetting a game, is I feel like week 1 was maybe their most embarrassing loss. I feel like everything else was pretty, like, they kind of competed and was in it. I think that the Patriots are going to show that they are still the better team over the Jets. And they're going to be, just a 1.5 games back from the Bills. I don't think that's going to mean much. I still think the Bills are by and large going to win this division, but
absolutely.
I think the Patriots are going to still try to remain as frisky as possible, so I'm going to go with them.
This is going to be the worst pick I make all season. I'm going to team chaos the Jets. Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? See what happens. They played well against the Falcons. I know it's the Patriots and not the Falcons, but what the fuck?
I love it so much. I love this. I love this pick so much. Wow. Can I just say, we are only 5 picks in. We have disagreed 4 times. This is an interesting start here.
It's great. It's going to be great.
The Carolina Panthers at New York Giants, potentially debut.
Battle of Dave Gettleman.
Oh, Jesus, Dave. This kid just I hear Dave Gettleman and my hair stands over the back of my head and neck.
Dave.
The Stephen Gilmore, supposedly this might be his debut this week. Which that will be interesting to see. But unfortunately, we learned the news of Christian McCaffrey being put back on IR, so he is not going to come back for a bit of time.
Yeah.
And then you have the Giants, who just did what we expected them to do against the Rams, not show up at all. Do you think that the Panthers win this game, Matt?
The Panthers offense definitely has taken a step down since McCaffrey has been out. But it is the Giants. So I think I still have faith in the Panthers in this matchup. I'm going to choose the Panthers.
It has to work out here, man.
You have to. Otherwise something is wrong.
It has to. I mean, I know we're going to say this, and then all of a sudden the Giants, the fucking... I don't know. Is Kadarius Toney out for an extended period of time?
I believe so.
Okay, well then it's definitely not going to happen.
Dante Pettis.
Okay,
No.
maybe the Daniel Jones has he starts to get a little bit of something going, but I don't know. Maybe I think that Stephon Gilmore is going to be a nice addition to this defense. I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be an ugly game, but I think the Panthers win it.
All right. Next up, Cincinnati Bengals take on the Baltimore Ravens. This game will basically determine who's in first in the division.
Yep.
A competitive division. I don't think anyone thought between these two teams specifically.
Nope. Nope.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
I mean, you have to give respect to what the Ravens have done. They're winning 5 straight, and they keep on looking better each week. I mean, obviously, Lamar Jackson had a better performance 2 weeks ago compared to last week, but I look at this game, I feel really good about the Ravens. So good, in fact, that I'm guaranteeing it.
Double guarantee.
Yay! Let's go!
Cool.
We'll go down with the Ravens ship together.
I feel super good about Baltimore. Good that I like this. I have a Baltimore jersey, so I'm glad that they can play well.
Yes, exactly. It was definitely one of those things where it seems too easy to guarantee the Baltimore Ravens, but I think it's a little bit of a sign of respect for the Cincinnati Bengals, where they have performed better than what we thought they would. They're 4-2. They demolished the Lions last week. They're doing well, but win a game like this, and then that's when you'll get the real respect hung up on you. That's why I think. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles at Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, maybe John Gruden was the problem with this team after all, huh? The Raiders coming off a nice win against the Broncos. The Eagles, they kind of made it close near the end against the Bucs, but they had no shot in that game. Do they have a shot in this game, Matt?
More than the Bucs. I still think the Raiders are gonna win this, though.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I feel pretty good on that.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. I think the Raiders are the better team right now. They kind of, I think offensively especially, it's just they're just doing. Derek Carr is just playing out of his mind. He is just playing a very, very good football right now. And I don't think the Eagles can really stop him. Although give credit to the Eagles secondary, there's some good players there. Darius Slay specifically. But the Raiders, I think, are going to win.
All right. Next up, it is the joint Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff revenge game in the Lions versus the Rams. How will this play out, Chris?
Yeah, God, I feel for the Lions. I feel so
Yeah.
I feel like this is we meaning you, Matt, have had a tendency over the years to kind of when a team is really bad, we kind of just lay into them,
Mm-hmm.
But this is a hard team to lay into because they play some spirited football and you kind of just you want this team to get a win. It's hard not to root for this team in some capacity. But I gotta pick the Rams. I mean, there's no way.
Oh yeah, I'm picking the Rams, and I just in the past it was Browns, you deserve everything that's coming to you with this 0-16 record. You kept the fucker who made you go 1-15.
Yes.
You went 0-6, and then you still kept him.
Yes. Yep.
So, some teams deserve it. I think that this team will bounce back. It's not going to happen this week. I'm sorry, Lions, and I don't think you expected this to happen either.
Yeah. The Houston Texans at the Arizona Cardinals. Jesus Christ. So this is a revenge game. There you got DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt on the Cardinals, who are going to now face their former team, the shell of what used to be the Houston Texans. What do you think is going to happen here, Matt?
I think that poor Davis Mills is going to get sacked like 1 billion times.
Yeah.
And Hopkins might have one of them.
He's just going to come out on defense.
Just go on defense and do it. Yeah, Cardinals. Cardinals feel like the type of team that, at some point you're probably going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
It feels different than the Steelers from last year, because the Steelers, all their wins felt like flukes. I don't feel that way about the Cardinals. Yeah. But they still feel like a team that's at some point, you're probably going to lose. I don't feel that way this week.
No. I don't even know. I think every NFL team's at risk of losing at some point. Yeah. I feel like the Cardinals deserve a lot of credit, and I think that this is... I feel like the Steelers, like you said, I feel like the Steelers was a kind of a fluky thing because they were not performing well on some, at least especially on the offensive side. But this is I feel like this is there's not a huge weakness for this team. And yeah, they're gonna just pour it on the Houston Texans this week. Texans have a tendency to be weird and maybe make it close, but it shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't happen.
No.
So, Cardinals.
All right, my Chicago Bears take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh boy. That's my intro.
Cool. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm also going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Please don't put faith in my team right now, Chris. It's not not a fun time. Not a happy time.
I had my fun last week. I tried to encourage you. I tried to encourage the Bears to actually go out and win. They let me down, and I can't forgive them for that, at least for right now. I need a break from them for a bit. So yes,
everyone has to throw on Tampa Bay. Chicago can't throw very well. So there you go.
Perfect. The Sunday Night Football game, Indianapolis Colts at the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are coming off of a bye, while the Colts are coming off of a nice blowout victory over the Texans. Getting a little bit of morale boost, maybe. Could the Colts beat the 49ers this week?
I think there's a chance, legitimately. I'm still going to go with the 49ers. I am worried about 49ers injuries. It feels like the injury-prone team has, passed on from Washington to San Francisco right now. Yeah. Where just everyone gets injured for discernibly no reason.
Right.
So I'm going to still stick with the 49ers, but it's not a the 49ers will definitely win. There's a world that the Colts do.
Yeah, I'm also going with the 49ers. I tend to I know I picked the against. I know I picked the Dolphins or the Patriots to win their respective games against bye teams, but I tend to think that teams coming off of byes, that they have a little bit of an upper hand, that they rested up, they had 2 weeks to plan for a game. I think the 49ers are a smart football team that will have a game plan to take on the Colts and beat them. But you're right, injuries, and also just the fact that, the Colts have had, strange games in prime time, that's for sure. And I think that there's always a chance that the Colts could win, but I'm going 49ers.
Alrighty. And our Monday night game, New Orleans Saints coming off their bye take on the Seattle Seahawks, still with Geno Smith. How's this gonna play out for us?
I think so. This is the question that we had last time when we had the Jaguars in 2017. All right, that opening where they were going back and forth, constantly. Just who knows what's gonna happen next, right? So when they reached their bye, and they started out. It was 7 weeks where it went win loss win loss win loss win. Then they had the bye, and then they came off of that bye, and then they won again.
Yeah,
but then
it was an odd week.
Yeah, but that was also when the chain was broken, and then they won the next
won
two.
a bunch of times.
They won a bunch of times, and en route to an AFC Championship game appearance. Remember that fucking time? But
that was a fun time. Really enjoyed that.
But I'm gonna say that the pattern that is rooted in the Jaguars field, in that I think that it's an odd week, so the Saints are gonna win. I'm gonna go with the Saints. That's it.
I like how there was no discussion about like the team matchups. It's just what week is it?
Yeah,
I agree with you. I think the Saints are gonna win because I don't think that the Seahawks offense is totally gelling yet.
Right.
But something could happen.
Yeah.
I'm still going to pick the Saints. I feel good about the Saints' defense and their offense to do something.
If we're talking from a football point of view, Saints haven't been amazing this year, but we kind of expected that. And I think that right now Seattle's kind of feels like a very lost team at this point. They played well against the Steelers, give them credit, but the defense has been an issue, and I think that the Saints have what it takes to kind of take care of business. So we'll go there. All right. So to recap, we have 4 disagreements again.
Yep.
And none of them, both involve chaos, or 2 of them involve the chaoses.
2 are chaos, 2 are just like, what could happen?
Yeah. So the Falcons, Dolphins, Broncos, Browns, those are we don't know for sure. And then Chiefs, Titans, we disagreed on because of chaos, and then Jets, Patriots disagreed on because of chaos.
Yep.
So very interesting stuff there. We may push off doing VBBFL for a few weeks. You maybe we'll get a surprise this week. Who knows? But don't expect it. We'll let you guys know about VBFL. We'll keep you in the loop. Most likely, week 3 will be played in November.
Yep.
And check out all the stuff that we are doing on the other podcasts. And then we just recorded a Table Party episode that should be coming out maybe this week, maybe the week after. Don't want to put too much pressure on Walsh, but that is an episode that will be coming in the coming weeks, as well as the Gaming Coop. We will have an episode of that coming either this week or next week. So keep posted on those. One of our shorter episodes, but it's for good reason. This is a late night episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Good night. To me, I'm gonna go to sleep. Virtual Ball Boys has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Virtual Ball Boys and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.